Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this T-Flex CAD training course. And the topic for today will be the textual drawing information. Uh, so besides the normal standard information, which are the geometrical entities, lines, circles, and other elements that we've been seeing along this training course, we can save another type of information, which is text documents that can contain several different types of information about your drawing or about your model. Among these informations, we can export to these text format files information about the drawing variables with the values or the defining expressions, a report of the modifications that may exist in variables, including the ones we may use in animations, information about geometric parameters of certain drawing elements, and we can export also assembly structure. To show you a couple of examples, I've opened this example that we have on the library called Unfolding, and to show you the first thing we can export, it is something called the model parameters, and the model parameters can be assessed if we just write down WP, and this WP allow me to save a parameter file, which I can say put it somewhere, and I can mark what I want, okay, and simply say okay. The file it is saved and it can be opened by Notepad. So the information here, it's what we have under the variables topic. So parameters, variables. So you see we have a couple of variables in this drawing, and it exported the variables that are external variables, and because I've marked everything, also the comments and so on. So this is the first type of information we can export. Besides this type, we can generate also a report, which is very interesting because this report can work with together with the animations. A very clear example. I have this model here, and I want to collect information about some different lengths, considering this parameter here, this variable called alpha, that reflects under this side here. So in the variables I've created, you see the length, I've created this variable here, drawn, that collects this data, that is the length, okay? It's a very simple association, and we've seen this already in past lessons about this association for the variables and the functions. So now I will create one report under Tools Report. The name is by default. I will say position it under my desktop. I have a preview, okay, of what is to be written there. So the alpha, which is the angle, and the length that it will reflect on the other side. So simply go and do it, save. And now to collect this data, I will go to animate and will run. So I want to run the alpha variable, and it should go from 0 to 180. So 180 with steps of 1. So the idea now it is save it to the report. The report is created, so it will generate this, and simply do OK. What should happen now? It is the creation of the report, and I have for the step of 1 degree, the positions for the length until 180. This is very nice to collect information about these mechanisms and these animations. Very interesting function. Another possibility, and also very interesting, it's if we work with some kind of machine that collects data from a DXF file. I may need information about this from an area that is defined by something called a profile. I have this drawing here, and to do this I need to make a preparation previously, which is create an edge, or in this particular case we have already the edge, so I will just edit the edge, and okay, we have a solid fill, but we have to activate this function here called profile. So profile, created, and now I have a created surrounding the edge. When I go to tools and say export a profile, I have some functions, some possibilities under properties or geometry, and these options, one will save directly the information to a file, so I can choose among these kinds of files, or I simply go and ask to show me the general characteristics, and if I want, write it to a file. Okay, so go, and it show me these areas, parameters, and so on. If I export it to a file, I can say the XF, okay, output path, profile, save it, and do the OK. Okay, not supported here, but I could use another function. I could write down a DWG, for example. It should work. Okay, not supported in this function in particular. Sorry, but you get the idea of how to work with this. Last information we can extract under this group of commands. I can extract the information regarding the assembly structure, and I've opened an assembly file. And the idea in here, it is to export the general look of this assembly. Again, tools, under this group of commands, special data structure, and we can show this information on a dialog or write it down to a file, okay, and include all of these things. Let us do it only on a dialog. So okay, and you get all of these informations about what it is inside this assembly, and every fragment and all the variables that composing each fragment of our assembly. So this is information that we can extract from the files. It's information very useful in many types of applications, and it depends on the way you work, but I think it's easy to see what it should be used and the value of this information. Any point not clear in this video, please contact us, put us your questions.